Moving with houseplants. Now, if you have a lot of houseplants, we need to be able to transport these safely and securely. So we have a few different rules of thumb based on the size and the type of the plant. So firstly, when we're looking at the smaller sort of pots, carrying these out individually is going to be too much. So we're going to use our standard size box for heavy or fragile items. And we're just going to put these carefully inside those boxes. Now, where we've got glass or ceramic containers like this, we're either going to wrap them with bubble based on how precious they are, or we're just going to stuff the gaps with paper to make sure there's no movement in there. We're not going to close the box. We're going to leave it open. It's just a way of transporting them together and making sure they're all secure. This can be true with our orchids or anything like this, where they're going to stick out and protrude from the box, but it's more of a way of containing the plants together and minimizing the chance of them falling over during transit. They're now secured in a box. We can do these for our medium-sized plants as well. And as you can see, it's a way of sort of containing the leaves and sort of minimizing damage. If we have any plants which are large and splaying out, any big ferns, I would recommend tying them together to remove some of the volume of it when we're transporting. And if we look at the sort of larger size plants, stuff like this or larger, we're just going to transport it as it is. There's no point in sort of wrapping or boxing something like this. If it did have a delicate or fragile base, we can wrap it with bubble wrap to make sure it's secure, but we would take this as it is. When it comes to plants in the garden, we're going to be able to move them as they are. But with the weather like it is in England, we do recommend trying to cover them and keep them dry before move day. This is so that when they go on there, they're not going to leak water and potentially contaminate some of the boxes you might have in there. It also, for the very large pots, is going to reduce the weight down drastically. So if you can cover them with a plastic bag, or you can bring them under a shelter a few days before move day, this is generally advised. Moving pianos. When it comes to moving pianos, we do need to be careful. Pianos can be awkward, big and heavy, and if not handled correctly, can cause injury and potentially damage the piano in transit. So make sure you have a plan of action of how to move it and enough manpower to move it without causing any issues. We rely on padded cases and piano wheels to make the removal go smoothly. But when it comes to awkward access, flights of stairs, or large and expensive pianos like the baby grands or the grand pianos, even we look for specialist assistance from companies like Mickleboro's Music, who can transport these without any issues and save a real headache on move day. Now, when it comes to moving pets, we really recommend the medium-sized boxes for them. We don't want to go too big because we want to give them a little space to... I'm going to put you in a box. I'm joking. Moving house with pets. Now, when it comes to moving house with pets, we do need to be careful. This is a very stressful time, not just for us, but for them. So speak to us in ways in which we can make the move process for them a little bit easier. You may want to consider boarding your pets for the duration of your move, or looking at family members that could look after them just to get them out of the way. But if that's not an option, we can look at how we can isolate them in certain rooms, try and mitigate the stress for them on move day. We won't be able to take any live animals on the van with us, but we can take all their accessories, and we can pack the van in such a way that we have those accessories to hand as soon as we're in the new house. Now, there are certain items that we cannot take for insurance and safety reasons. These include cans of gas for the barbecue, any dangerous or flammable liquids, anything very corrosive, but we also can't take open tins of paint. So these are the items that you're going to need to transport yourself on move day. These can be put in the car or put to one side, but they won't be able to travel in the van with us.